I'm here with Chris of Skeletal Remains to talk about Fragments of the Ageless, out March 8th on Century Media Records. A pleasure to have you on the channel to talk about the music. How's things going with you?
Pretty good, man. Just kind of just waiting around for this record to drop. Pretty excited to see what people think, and yeah, just we're getting ready to do a couple shows around the release day. We'll be doing like 4 shows here in SoCal. So yeah, just getting preparing for that, and that's about it, man. Just kind of waiting around, usual shit. Waiting for the album to drop,
So let me ask you this. Over the years, all of the records you guys have done, all the shows, all the tours that you have played, what in your mind has shaped the band's sound the most?
Um, I think it's mostly I don't know. I'm never got an asked it. I'm not sure. I mean, I feel like it's different things. It's not just one thing. I mean, obviously, like the things you mentioned, touring. I think also just like getting older has and like I guess maturing has changed the sound of the band a little bit. Obviously, the people involved with each record. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's a mixture of different things. Not just one, but obviously like the touring and all that. Kind of getting experience of like being an actual touring band and touring, all the time, and getting to more of a professional level that has kind of influenced, I guess, not just the band, but our like us personally to like be a little bit more mature and like you know, compared to like when we wrote the first record, we were just kids that were trying to like have fun and write music that sounded like our idols, and it was more about like, oh, we were just trying to party and like like that experience of a band. But now it's like more mature, and we're actually trying to take ourselves serious and write stuff that that we think like that we really enjoy. It's not more of like, I feel like before it was more of like, yeah, we were writing stuff that we enjoy, but it was more of like trying to sound like our idols, I guess, if that makes sense. Now we're just kind of writing music um that we really enjoy and like that moves us instead of, I don't know. I don't know if I went a little bit off topic, but that's kind of, I guess it's just more different things, I guess.
So the album is called Fragments of the Ageless. Is death metal an ageless genre?
I believe so. Yeah. I mean, I feel like you know, I don't think death metal's ever going to go away. It's always going to be there, obviously. Sorry, got a fucking phone call coming in, and it's yeah. Sorry. Back to your question. Yeah. I feel like it's always going to be there. I mean, I don't think it like sure it's going to have its waves like any other music. Like it's going to be obviously very big at some point, and then it starts to die down, and then it'll come back up, just like with any other style of music. But yeah, I definitely think it's definitely ageless. So I think it'll be around till as long as there's fucking instruments and people to do. I mean even nine. I mean I've heard some. I was like listening to the radio the other day driving my kid to school, and I heard something about like they're creating like some sort of like AI band or something. I don't know if you heard about that.
No, I haven't
Where
heard
like
about that. Well, that's all
yeah,
we need right now.
yeah. So they're like writing music on their own. Obviously, it's programmed and all that, but it's like I'm not 100% sure how it works. But it's like a death metal band that they're trying to do, and it's like AI. I can't remember what it was called or anything like that, but I was like, what the fuck is that? The real thing? But yeah, I feel like it's going to be around forever. Even if maybe humans are not around, and probably be programmed, but I don't know if it'll be good. But yeah, it's definitely I definitely think it's it's something that's going to be around for forever.
So since you're sitting in your car, I have to ask you this: what kind of potholes do you want to avoid when you're writing a new Skeletal Remains record?
Um, I don't know, man. I mean, we kind of just, like I mentioned earlier, we kind of just write the music for ourselves. If we're happy with it, obviously that's what you're getting. Um, but like we have came across some stuff that were like happens all the time where we're like writing stuff and then we just get stuck because we can't come up with an idea that like it's really clicking. And then we just either kind of take a break from that song and just like come back to it at a later time, or there's times like some of the songs on this record where um, we'd get like halfway through a song and then we just got stuck and we're like, yeah, let's just give it a break. We'll come back to it, and then we come back and we kind of dissect the song, and it just becomes a whole different thing. So that happened. That happened on this record a couple of times. Like, and Merciful was one of those, and I believe Cybernetic were songs that Cybernetic being. I think Cybernetic was the very first song we wrote, and that song, I believe we had it like halfways, and we kind of just got stuck and towards the end of like when we were almost done writing the majority of the record, that there was this song and we just weren't too happy with it. So we went back in and we kind of just took things out, rearranged it, just dissected everything, and just made it what you hear now. So yes, there's times that we do that, but as far as like we try to avoid anything, not really. We kind of just, like I said, we just write stuff, and if it sounds good to us, then that's what you get.
When I looked at this record, specifically at this record, listening to it, obviously the brutality of the band comes through on every single song. There's this wall of heaviness that's always feeling like so impending, like coming towards you. But you guys always find a way of including some interludes or even pockets within songs where the brutality kind of goes away, and it allows the song to breathe a little bit better, but it also allows the listener to kind of pace yourself, kind of take a deep breath. For a band as heavy and brutal as you guys, are those pockets and interludes within the overall context of the record important for you in order for the album to have not just playability but longevity?
Yeah, I think definitely. I mean, we obviously did that on purpose. We try to, you know, uh, make things interesting and not just make it sound super repetitive and just brutal all the time. We obviously like, different things, but we try to make things where it's, it kind of lets, yeah, like it lets the music breathe a little bit. Um, Kind of lets, because if you have something where it's just like nonstop hammering at you and you're listening to it, like a lot of the times when I've heard some of those records, they're fucking awesome, but I'd only get to like two or three songs and then I'll be like, all right, let me listen to something else. So we do that. Does like when we're writing, that's definitely something that we're thinking about. We try to kind of just mix things up and kind of not make it brutal all the fucking time. We try to make stuff like simple and catchy here and there, and yeah, the interludes play a big role. Like we think those kind of like that helps a lot, and that really comes a lot from like Morbid Angel. Like Morbid Angel did that a lot. Put a lot of like just like very random interludes that like I don't know, just made the record what it is for us at least, or for me at least. So yeah, we definitely enjoy doing that. And that's definitely something that is done purposely for that reason, to kind of like let the record breathe and let the listener kind of not be fucking uh, hammered with just brutality the whole time.
The guitar sound on this record is excellent. Did you guys change anything as far as the guitars are concerned coming into this recording?
No, it's all the same. It's all the same amps as the last record. Um, the record before that, Devouring, I believe, had a different mixture of amps, but this one had the same mixture as Entombment. And the only different thing we did is that we um, we reamped it at a different place from compared to the last record. I don't know if that made a difference. Obviously, there was different mics used, um, so that could have made a bit of a difference. But the amps are the same. As far as the guitars, actually, I think the guitars are the same too. We tracked with the same. Actually, the seven, because we use both 6 and 7 strings. So the 7 string songs we tracked with a different guitar from the last record, but the 6 string songs we tracked with the same guitar from the last record. So it's kind of similar, but yeah, I mean, I think that might make a little bit of a difference, but I think it also comes down to Dan Solano and his mixing, and how he plays a big role in how great the sound is on the record, and how big he makes the guitar sound.
And for yourself as an artist, when it comes to singing, playing guitar, which of those you feel there's a little bit more room to grow as you move forward?
I mean, both. Yeah, I mean, I mean, personally, I'm a guitar player, and I actually just got stuck with the singing position. I never wanted to be the singer. So I would prefer just to play guitar. But as far as like room to grow, that's for both things, man. Like, I mean, obviously as a guitar player, um, it's like never ending. You know, there's so much more that I can learn, and I try my best. I mean, it's obviously not like how it was when I was younger. You know, I didn't have kids, and you know, I was living at my parents, so like the job wasn't an important thing. Income, like having to worry about making money to pay bills and stuff. Not as much as it is now. So like I had more time on my hands, and I was able to sit in my room and just kind of like learn shit all the time. You know, now it's obviously harder. Um, so I don't have as much time as I would like to, you know, to actually sit down and like learn new shit. Like, sure, I still play guitar every day and you know mess around and stuff, but it's not like before. So, personally, I mean, I feel like even with my vocals too, like I said, I've never thought I was going to be a vocalist. I didn't go into this being a vocalist. I kind of just went in, was just thrown in it, and then I just learned as I, you know, as time progressed or whatever. You know, like I'm still learning. Like, sure, I've learned a lot. Like when it comes to like not losing your voice and singing the right way to not lose your voice, because when I was doing it at first, like, you know, I was just kind of like trying to mimic certain people or some of my idols, and it worked out, but a lot of the times I realized I was doing it wrong for that reason, because I was trying to mimic people, and I would lose my voice a lot, or I'd get off stage with like big headaches. Like now, like I can do it, I can do a whole set and not even like feel anything. As long as I'm hydrated, I'm okay. But yeah, I mean, there's room to grow on both things, man. But I prefer. I mean, like I said, I'm a guitar player, so that's like my instrument. The vocal thing is just kind of like something I got stuck with. But yeah, I don't know. To answer your question, yeah, I have. I mean, there's room to grow for in both things, you know.
Well, when you're looking at making a new record or releasing a new record, is that process or the creation of an album the means to an end because it will allow you to go back on the road and perform, or do you see the two things as two separate entities that you approach completely different from one another?
Yeah, I think they're two different things. Um, Making a record is like we don't really write a record to go on the road. We kind of just write a record when you know, when we feel we're ready, and like we have obviously all the songs, and we're like, okay, like let's, you know, or when we feel like it's time to like, hey, let's go back into writing and stuff like that. Like, because a lot of the time, like for example, the last record we did that was released during COVID, meaning right when we released the record, we weren't able to tour, so we had to go back into writing mode pretty much, and we like it kind of was weird. Like, yeah, like we were writing stuff, like for example, like Cybernetic, I believe was that first song we wrote, and we kind of just were getting stuck, and we started a different song. I believe that was Relentless. I can't remember what song, but we had like two or three songs that were unfinished, and we were kind of just getting stuck. And I don't know, I feel like most likely it's because not being able to tour. I think it's kind of weird. It's like it's two different things, but they help each other. If that makes sense. Like, um, touring and like getting the whole experience of playing a show and seeing the response from the fans, on like new music or music in general, like the music we're playing. Like I believe that like inspires us or me personally to write new music. So like not being able to go on tour and see that, kind of like I just wasn't inspired when it came to writing music. Like for example, when we started writing right after we got done recording Two Man, we started trying to go back to writing, and I just felt super uninspired, and I couldn't like, yeah, I just felt stuck. Like I was like, oh no, like I'm not really feeling it, you know. So yeah, I don't know. I see them as two different things, but yeah, they kind of like help each other, if that makes sense.
You mentioned Morbid Angel. Are they one of your biggest influences?
Yeah, definitely. They're definitely one of. There's many, but yeah. I mean, when it comes down to Skeletal Remains, like I feel like that. You know, obviously you can hear that influence in there. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and be like, oh no, we don't. You know, we don't like. We take a lot from Morbid Angel. That's one of our favorite bands. And there's many other bands, you know, that we that influence us. But yeah, definitely Morbid Angel being one of the main ones.
If you could pick a tour partner, you guys have toured with a lot of great bands. You've done a lot of shows, but is there someone left on your bucket list of bands to tour with?
Yeah, I mean, we'd love to tour Cannibal. We haven't done that. We played a show with them, but we've never toured with them. So Cannibal would definitely be one. Deicide. There's quite a few that we've never toured bands that we've never toured with. I mean, we've done a lot of the big ones, obviously like Morbid Angel, Obituary. But there's still a bunch. Nile, we'd love to play with Nile. I've played with them before in a different project, and I've done a tour with them. But with Skeletal, we've never done anything together. So that's definitely another band I'd love to play with. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there's more, but I'm kind of blanking out right now. That always happens when I get asked about bands. But yeah, I'm sure there's many other fucking bands
Well,
that we've.
all the ones you mentioned would make for killer tour shows, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It just. I mean, I'm sure with time, hopefully, it will happen. But I don't know. We'll see. I mean, we're not planning on stopping anytime soon. So hopefully, the opportunity comes up. If not, it is what it is. But yeah, man, I'd love to like tour with Cannibal or Deicide or like Nile or anyone like that. Like even that fucking one package with that lineup would be fucking amazing.
It would be amazing. With the album coming out shortly, I mean March 8th, the album's just around the corner. Do you have some sort of a vision board of what you want the record to achieve and what kind of doors you want the record to open, or you live it a little bit more in an organic side and just let the chips fall where they may?
Yeah, I'm more about. I don't like to like expect anything because then if it doesn't happen, I'll be like, oh fuck, that sucks. But so just kind of like whatever happens, happens, man. I'm more of like, you know, if people like it, people like it. If it opens more door for us and we're able to do more shit, then fuck, we're all for it. But if not, then it is what it is. I mean, it's not gonna stop us from playing. I mean, we're gonna still keep being a band and writing music. Like I said, we don't plan on stopping anytime soon. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, I'm really excited to see what people think because we're fucking all super stoked on this record, and we believe it's. I mean, every band's gonna say this, but yeah, we believe it's our best. It's the most brutal record we've done, I think, and being able to have the right team to do it. I mean, I'm sure people are gonna listen and be like, oh, they're gonna be able to tell. Like, it's a lot of very extreme stuff on there, and that has to do with having the right team, I think. But yeah, we're just stoked for it to be released and to see what people think, and we're stoked to be back to get back out on the road. We have some touring that will be announced soon, and around the states, and then go back to Europe and a lot of other shit that's in the works. Nothing's really confirmed yet, but yeah, mostly we're just excited to finally release it and see what people think.
I think everybody's going to have fun listening to it. It's definitely brutal. It's not one of those for virgin ears. Let me tell you, it's meaty, but as I would expect. I mean, I didn't expect you guys to release a pop album or anything along those lines. So when you
Yeah,
see who's playing and you see the name on the cover of the record on the artwork, you kind of have a certain level of expectations of what comes with it. And this album, from the get go, definitely delivers on those expectations. Chris, man, thank you very much for your time today. I really appreciate talking to you about the album, the record, the music, the influences. It was an absolute blast. So thank you very much for your time, and sorry for putting you in your car for this chat. I
it's all good, man. I mean, yeah, just having kids and stuff. This is like really the only, unless they're like asleep, taking a nap. But I try to get as much fucking stuff done as I can through the day. So like, yeah, don't worry about it. I mean, it happens like there's other times that I have to do interviews and I'm just like, I'll just do it in my car because it's like, it's more quiet in here and I don't have to worry about them bugging and like asking me for stuff. So it's all good, man. I appreciate your time and thanks for having me. And yeah, hopefully we'll see each other at some point at some show or
Yeah,
something.
next time you play in Toronto, I'll come out and we'll have this chat in person. By then, you'll had some time to digest the album in terms of what it meant to fans and the success that will have, and we'll be able to talk a little bit more about what kind of doors did the record really open for you guys. It'll be a little bit more of a retrospective conversation, but
Yeah.
I'll hit you up next time you're in Toronto.
All right, buddy. Have a good one, man.
Take care, man.
See
All
you.
the best.
Likewise. Bye bye.